Welcome to all of you. This is our very first Healy 101 product call. So we are super excited to have all of you on here, whether you are coming on live or whether you are listening to the replay. Good to have you on. If you are on here live with us, feel free to drop in the chat where you are calling in from. We're excited to have you here. Okay, so I am just going to get started because we want to give Colette as much time as possible here. And I have the pleasure of introducing her. Colette is a holistic biohacking mama who lives in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And when she was introduced to Healy in October of 2020, she knew nothing about energy, frequency, or vibration. So I love that because it's very similar to me, Colette. But her life quickly changed and she saw a vision of what Healy could do on a global scale. And she invested all of her time educating herself and exploring the possibilities with frequencies and the quantum realm. And so within her first year, she took her business to the biohacking conventions like the Biohacking Conference by Dave Asprey and the Biohacking Congress, the Global Yoga Expo, as well as A4M, which is the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine. So Colette is a recurring speaker at the Ultimate Wellness event at the Faina Resort, and she does pop-up retreats for Club Modern Mom. Her passion to teach about frequency medicine has opened so many doors, like the first Healy Rising Star Committee and Healy Field Advisory Board. And I'm just going to wrap up this intro by sharing that Colette leads her business with her heart and her charismatic attitude, and she is always here for the Healy world field. So thank you so much for coming on and doing this training, Colette. We're excited to have you on here, and I'm just going to turn it right on over to you.
Thank you so much, Elisa, and thank you all for tuning in today, or if you're watching the replay. And like she said, it is a deep passion of mine to educate people of, really to understand the full capacity of what Healy is and how to use it. And so today I wanted to start with Healy 101 and really just getting started with Healy, like from the beginning when that box arrives at your door. So I'm going to share my presentation, and if there's any questions, go ahead and pop them in the chat. I know that Jake and some tech support are there to answer questions. So I'm just going to get my screen ready and we will start. So today we're going to just talk about your first steps from the time when the Healy arrives at your door once it's delivered to you. So what we're going to talk about today, like I said, is when that box arrives. We're going to also talk about the tools that are provided for us, because my initiative with this and these Healy 101 calls is to have these to be a duplicatable system for us as Healy World members to provide to all of our new members and our customers who come on and start their Healy journey. And like Elisa said, I started in October 2020, and Healy has advanced so much in what they are providing for us to use as tools. We have a Healy Academy, which just keeps getting better every single day. We have an amazing help center that I'm going to show a little bit about. And I'm going to go into the Healy app today, setting up your device, getting your first program started, and we're just going to touch base on microcurrent versus the Healy Coil. So let's get started. So when your brown box arrives, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pull it out and you're going to find your Healy box that's wrapped up. You're going to have your shipping invoice. It's a little piece of paper, so make sure you keep that for any references. And you're going to have your black silicone wristbands. Now, these are going to be separate, so make sure you check inside the box. They're normally might be tucked in around the brown paper bag or paper stuffing. I know some people in the past were like, I didn't get any silicone wristbands. So make sure you let everybody know they're separate, so they're inside there. And if for any reason you might have happened to throw them away, it's easy enough to submit a support ticket and talk to the corporate support and ask for help in what to do next. Also inside your box is you're going to have your easy quick start guide, and you'll have a little instructions use menu too. You will have your actual Healy hardware device. You will have your connecting cables, as well as your 3mm adhesive electrodes and a Healy charge cord, but mine is plugged in right now, so I'm not going to pull it out. It is a mini micro USB. So all of that is what comes inside when you get your Healy delivered to your door. So I wanted you to be able to know about the duplicatable tools, because Healy has made tools that are easy for you to start to help your downline and your customers to have an easy start on their Healy journey. And I want to always encourage people to refer back to the Healy Academy, because as entrepreneurs, it is also important that we encourage people to do the same thing so it's simple and easy and people don't get lost and we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Healy has provided it all for us. So an easy way to find the Academy is academy.healyworld. And you also need to log in. We'll choose the country of where your shop is linked to, and then you're going to log in with your same credentials. And this is the page of what it will look like once you're logged in. And I want to encourage people to watch these 2 videos. These 2 right here are going to be the first easy steps of helping you or your new customers of what to do when they first get their device. Healy also has an amazing help center that they've put together. And I just need to move this 1 second so I can see. So they put together a Healy, a great reference for us to use so that you can find in your academy, and it's called the Help Center, or you can type in help.healy.world. And I did a little example here of what kind of things that you could search for, because they do have it broken down into different segments, whether it's for the academy, for the hardware, for business. But so I simply just put Bluetooth, because Bluetooth can be a question that we get asked a lot about. And so as you can see here, there's simple things here. The Bluetooth function can't be turned on with my Healy. And so they have little answers here to help support you or your downline. So again, use this tool. It's so useful. And now we're going to get to the important part of getting started with the Healy. So it is suggested, like I said before, to only use the mini USB cord that Healy is provided. Now it doesn't come with a charging block, so you could use the one that is provided with your phone to make sure that it is for a 5-volt DC and a max of 2,500 milliamperes. And when the Healy is charging, the light is going to be fully green. So that's how you know the Healy is charging. Now the Healy can take up to 3 hours for the initial charge. And we encourage you to be patient and allow that to fully charge, because it's setting the algorithm of the battery life for your Healy hardware. Now, when the Healy is done charging, the green light will go out. Also encourage is to don't leave your Healy plugged in overnight, or I know it might happen every once in a while. I've forgotten too, but try not to make it a habit, because it can also burn out the battery life of the device. The configuration, it can also take a few times. So you might have waited your 3 hours and you're so excited to run your programs, but you might think, wow, the battery life just kind of ended faster than you expected. Well, so that algorithm might take a few sessions. So it's always encouraged that when you use your Healy to let the battery run fully out. Not like our phones or our computers, we might keep plugged in all the time. Our battery is a bit sensitive. So allowing the device to run fully out and then recharging it again for 3 hours. And some people might say, mine took longer than 3 hours. So the device might arrive to you and have some battery life, but sometimes it possibly might not have any battery life. So it could take up to 5 hours your first time. So just allowing yourself to get that algorithm set with the batteries, it could take up to 3 times to get this fully configured. And also, if you notice that your Healy battery maybe is acting a bit funny and is running out a bit fast, you can always do a hard reset as well, easily by just holding in the center button of your Healy for 30 seconds and waiting for the green light to start flashing again. And then let's try to charge it fully and see how we go from there. If there's ever any issues with your Healy battery and you can't seem to troubleshoot it yourself, always refer back to your customer support and submit a ticket, and they will be able to assist you further if your upline can't help you either. So I always think it's great to ask your upline or your upline's upline sponsor. If not, you can submit a ticket to your support center. Now, there are different things that the battery light is doing. So if you turn on your Healy and you want to use it and all of a sudden it goes flash, 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 that means your battery's dead. And unfortunately, you have to be patient and wait for it to charge. I time to see like, okay, my battery's died during my program, so I'll try to charge it at that moment and go about my day. Also, like I said before, if when you're charging it, it's going to be a solid green light with a little pulsation. It's not necessarily going to be like flashing. You'll just see a little pulsing within the green. That means that the Healy is charging. And a full battery means that the light's going to go off. And then if you turn your Healy on and it's just slowly blinking, that means that a program is running and the generator is actually producing a frequency. So I'm going to go into that a little bit more later when I talk about the programs and when they get running. Now I have these easy QR codes here for you to download, because when you get your quick start guide that comes in here, I want everyone to make sure that you let your new downline and your new customers know that these are the old Healy app. So make sure that they know to either go into their Apple Store or their Google Play Store and search Healy 2, because the one that's provided is the app that is outdated and we're not using anymore. In the future, we're going to have the brand new apps added into the new quick start guide, and I'm sure corporate will let us know when that happens. So connecting to your Healy app, it's really simple, but it has to be done in a specific order. So first of all, you're going to turn your Healy on with a quick little one little button snap. And then you want to make sure that your Bluetooth is turned on your device, whether you're using your phone or your tablet. And then you want to turn on your Healy app. And then from there, you're going to be prompted to find your device and scan the QR code. So we're going to go a little deeper in what that actually looks like. And if you like these simple pictures here, a lot of the information that I am sharing is provided in the Healy Academy. Healy has provided, there's courses in that academy that you can go in and literally it is step by step. So it takes out, if you are a Healy World member and you've been hosting your own calls of getting people set up, Healy has it all provided for you. So redirect them back to the academy because it's all there. All right, so for your second step, you are going to, when you turn on the app initially, it's going to have 3 check marks that you're going to need to select so you can move forward. And the Healy is going to prompt you to activate your Bluetooth so it can search for the devices. But it is also going to ask you to turn on your location services. It must be enabled to connect the Bluetooth and low energy devices. It gives the permission for it to find your mobile device. Healy is it's never sharing your location. It's literally only for the connection to the Bluetooth. So the third step is to scan your QR code and connect your Healy. So the QR code is easily found on the back of your Healy. You can find it back here. If you're brand new to Healy, there's the little QR codes here. And I suggest to be in a bright light, maybe keeping your phone away just a little bit. Might need to turn on your flash as well for it to be seen. And sometimes it just might not work. So if it's not scanning, you can easily enter the QR code yourself. So on the back here, all of our our serial numbers, all of our serial numbers start with 010101. And so you'll have to enter those in and then make sure you hit connect. And then you will wait for your Healy device to connect to your app. Oops. Excuse me. Can you guys still see that? Okay, there we go. So now how do we set up and run a program? So there's 4 steps. So initially, like I said, we're going to turn on our Healy with one little click. We're going to connect the Healy by scanning the QR code. Now I wanted to show you because this will always come up initially. This is our notice. So it's always talking about that we need to use it in accordance with the instructions and the safe ways to use it, that the Healy is an individualized microcurrent frequency, and the programs are not medical applications. They are not intended to cure, treat, mitigate, diagnose, or prevent diseases. And they have not been reviewed by a notified body and are not part of a conformity assessment procedure under the MDD-MDR. So that always shows up there. I like to, if I'm doing demos or showing people, to show them that as well. Now, if you're brand new and getting your device and you're like, where's my programs? You need to make sure that you look for this light blue ticker box on the top up here. And it's going to tell you a new configuration for your Healy is available. And do you want to download it now? Yes, yes, you do. So you want to tap update now. And what it's going to do is it's going to download from the cloud and bring all of the programs depending on the Healy model that you have purchased, and then all your programs will show up. Okay. So setting up and running your applications. So first of all, you're going to choose your program group. So here we have mental balance group that's been chosen, and we're going to run mental balance acute. So at this moment, you will then see the bar here is going to start, it'll be white. And as the program gets transmitted from the cloud to your Healy device, it will go over. Now, some programs might instantly go over and some might take a bit longer. Now, why is that? So our Healy programs can have up to 500 different types of frequencies. So depending on the amount of frequencies that are in your program group, that's just going to depend on how long it's taking for it to transmit over. So if it's more like a pain program, those pretty much kick over pretty fast. So that's a question that I've gotten before. They're like, I don't think that my program got sent over. It went so fast. And it's just because there's not that many set frequencies inside that program group. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And then next, you're going to have this page here, and you're going to be able to set your intensity on the application. I'm going to move forward and talk a little bit more about that in just one second. So these are just some hot tips before starting your Healy IMF programs. Hydration. Hydration is so key. We are 75% water, so we want to make sure we have enough fluid within inside us so the frequencies are able to move and communicate with our cells. So have at least 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. I mean, the doctor, everyone tells us that. I know we can forget sometimes, but maybe before your program, have some water afterwards as well. And while using your Healy, you might notice that you might feel a little dehydrated, after your first week of using it. It's because the Healy is moving everything within you. So keeping your hydration up is very important when you're using your microcurrent programs. Now, if a program suggests using electrode stickers, make sure your skin surface is clean and free of any body oils. Maybe if you have a little more body hair on your arms or on your back, wherever you're trying to place the electrodes, maybe your legs, you might need to possibly remove the hair from that area too. That has been suggested in times as well. And if you're still not having a flowing frequency, consider sourcing some electrode gel, which can be easily found on Amazon or a medical supply store. Now, when I say that, I use the electrode gel a lot, and I just place a tiny dot on the inside of my silicone wristband, and I place it on my wrist, and immediately I get that current flowing. So that's an easy way. Other ways, if you don't have that, and you can just get like a piece of paper towel or a napkin and get it damp, place that underneath as well. We just want to have something to help with that conductivity for the frequencies to be flowing to you and making a closed circuit so the frequencies are flowing. Another thing that for me, when I started, I didn't really understand this, but now it's important to remember, I get it now, and to remember that intention is everything. Our mind is extremely powerful, okay? So if you are running a program and whatever that program is intended to do, I always suggest you sit, hold that intention of the outcome that you want, that you're going to have once that program is finished, right? So say that, you're running a program for mental balance. So coming into it with an intention that my mind is balanced and I am living a joyous life, just holding intention of whatever that program is going to be to help those frequencies settle in nicely. So what is your Healy program doing? So the frequency is being transmitted by, if you see a waving line here, okay? If it's not, it'll have like straight lines, or it will tell you actually as well that there's a current flowing, but it's not connecting enough. So you might need to turn your intensity up a little bit and keep bumping it up until it starts flowing. And then you could try to back it back a little, or if it's still not working, try some of those other suggestions. Like I said, increasing your water intake, using some damp cloth, using the electrode gel. You are going to be able to see what actual frequencies are being delivered here. I love that part. I love that I get to see what frequencies are being delivered to me each time I run a individualized microcurrent program, because it makes it unique each time that I'm wearing it. And also you're going to see the duration of the application, how much longer, and you'll also see a progress bar here. You get to up your intensity as well. And I put this little note here, less is more with microcurrent. When I first got Healy, I was like 100%, and I'm like feeling it, right? Well, think about like when you're a child, and maybe you got reprimanded or had someone yell at you. That doesn't feel nice, right? That doesn't really make you want to instantly change. So we want to be gentle and gently encourage our cells and body to change. So that's why less is more. My personal suggestion when I talk to people is starting around 35%, maybe you have to get up to 65. If you start to feel twitching, pulsating, any tingling, let's turn the intensity down a little bit. Other things to know about when your program is running, that say your program is 60 minutes long, then you saw the time when you started your program, and then you realize it stopped at 45 minutes. Well, the Healy is constantly reading you, and it's finding those resonant match frequencies of what you need in that exact moment. So if Healy has realized that you have found all resonant matches of that frequency group, it will turn off. And so that's why Healy is so cool, and it's giving us exactly what we need, and we're never not going to have too much. To learn more about what the Healy programs are actually doing and how it's working the whole time, how it's constantly reading you, there is an amazing video in your in your Healy Academy that you can watch as well. So again, go back to your Healy Academy and go through these videos. It's such great information. Now, the IMF or Healy Coil. So IMF, Individualized Microcurrent Frequencies. This is what makes Healy so unique. And from my own business of going to so many different biohacking conventions and trying so many different frequency modalities, there is nothing else that does this. There is nothing else that makes something unique to you and your customers every time they use it. This is what makes Healy so awesome. And so the individualized microcurrent frequencies is IMF. And so if you see when you go to choose a program, this IMF up here, those programs can be used with the Healy Coil or with your sticky electrodes or your wristbands. If they do not have that, so look at contentment acute, mental balance acute, they do not have the IMF programs here. So those need to be used with your electrocords, whether with the wristbands or the sticky electrodes. Now, typically the ones that you're going to always have to use the cords with is going to be acute programs or programs that are targeting a specific area. And these are set frequency programs, and they're not customized to the individual user. So saying like a pain program, these pain programs, these frequencies are known to work for exactly what that's for, right? They're not customized each time. So that's why you would use you want the actual microcurrent to go in and do the work. Now, another thing that's really important when we are using the microcurrent is only 3 programs a day. And why is that? Because if you do too much and too fast, and also making sure your programs are spread apart, right? Letting those frequencies settle within the body. If you're doing too much, if you're doing them too close together, you could have some detox symptoms. Maybe you might get some migraines, maybe some ringing in the ears, maybe some detox symptoms of rashes coming out from the lymph nodes. So this is it is a Class 2 medical device. It's cleared by the FDA. So we need to make sure that we are using it and according to the correct way that's been suggested by Healy. And all those other programs you can use with the Healy Coil. And that's what I'm using right now. So how would you like, this is my personal opinion of how to choose whether I'm using the IMF with the electro cables or I'm using Coil. So if I am working at something very specific, maybe I have injured myself and I need to run pain programs, I am going to be intentional and choose those programs that I want to have a faster result cellularly by using those microcurrent frequencies with the cords, whether it's with the stickers or the wristbands. And all my other programs throughout the day, because I'm not just going to use 3. I mean, I bought Healy to use Healy all the time. So I use my Coil. Now, what is the Coil doing? So when you plug the Coil in, the Healy Coil creates what's called a 0-point vector field. In simple terms, I call it a little bubble. And so it is canceling out any other energy field around you. And the frequencies are deeply penetrating your personal biofield. Now, I still feel that the Coil is extremely powerful, whether I'm using the Coil to work out or driving, cooking. I I can tell when a program is done. I also, like I said, setting that intention of what you're using these frequencies for, right? I love using my Coil for the mental balance programs. Like I said, fitness, even when I use them for the fitness programs, and maybe my class is an hour long and a program is 45 minutes, I can tell when my program is done. It's literally like my battery goes, and I'll run over and I'll start another program to help boost myself a little bit to finish that workout that I'm doing. So you can use Healy with the microcurrent or the coil throughout the day and making a great protocol for yourself. And we also have the custom expert program page. Now, you'll see that down here in the expert area. Now, why would we want to have an expert area, an expert program? I mean, Healy has over 300 different types of programs for us, but for some reason, maybe you want to create something unique just for yourself. There are time waiver experts that are from that. Some of them are within Healy that you can source and talk to, and they can create you a customized frequency program, and it will be stored on your Healy. And how do you do that? So you will, oops, excuse me, sorry. So this is the page when you hit expert area, and this is what you'll see. So if you already have programs, you would hit expert programs and your program page would show up with your customized programs. If you've already spoken to a time waiver expert, they will going to ask you to generate an expert TAN. And so that's what this is here. So you're going to click this arrow, and this is the page that's going to show next. It's going to say, do you want to enable access via the Heal Advisor Cloud? Please enable the creation of your personal TAN so that your expert can send you individualized programs via the Heal Advisor Cloud. So yes, enable. And then you're going to have this TAN. So you need to be able to share that with a time waiver expert. And I believe that these are active for 5 days. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I haven't had a custom program made in a while. But if for some reason it isn't active anymore, the expert will tell you and you just generate a new one. And you can easily share it by hitting share. I've kind of wrapped up for today. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible by just using the Healy app. I do want to show a couple more things down here. We have this info center as well on our Healy app. Actually, let me just share my phone and I can show you what it looks like on there. Let me stop sharing this real quick. My phone. Okay, I guess I can't do it on webinar. Sorry, excuse me. But anyway, on the when you're on the app down there in the info center, it will tell you, let me get back to my screen to show you guys. So if you go down to the info center here and you click on that, we'll have on the top page there will be news, and inside the news, it's going to shoot you over to another app that we'll talk about next time, the Heal Advisor, and it will tell you any Healy news that's coming up. So recently we had the soft launch of the Heal Advisor Analyze app. They talk about the Healy horizons that are provided. So there's great information there, and you can easily also get to your Healy Academy by clicking into the info center. So that's great too. You can get to your Healy Academy by there. You can go to the download section as well if you want to download any documents that are provided by Healy. There's the Healy guide, and your instruction manual are also provided on your phone. Also in your settings down here, you can go into your settings and you can enable notifications if you want. You can turn off the sounds. You could also, if you wanted to, and you have another Healy or a mag Healy, you can switch devices too. So if you need to use 2 devices, you can. It's always suggested. I typically just close my app out all the way and I open it up again, and I would then scan the next device that I want to set up. So I wanted to keep it simple today to just get people started on, getting their Healy started, so they know what program, how to run their programs, how to set their intensities, and where to educate themselves on how to use all things Healy, which is the Healy Academy. And I hope that I was able to explain it well for everyone. And I'm just going to look to see if there's any questions in the chat.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Colette. This has been amazing. There have been some comments in the chat just thanking you and saying what an incredible job. So helpful. So if any of you that are on here live, if you've got a question that you want to drop in the chat really quick, we do have a few minutes to do that. Otherwise, this is going to be very interactive and so helpful. I have learned so much just on here today, even Colette. So thank you for everything that you're sharing. And for those of you that are on the call, you probably can think of some people that would really benefit from this kind of training, right? Especially even as you're bringing new members on your team, you can direct them over. All these calls are going to be recorded. So this will be awesome. So yeah, you've done an excellent job, Colette. Everyone is glad that they were able to make it on here. And so we also are going to be doing Healy 101 Business. So our first Healy 101 Business is tomorrow night. We are super excited, looking forward to that too. Okay, so we do have a question here. If you kill your battery, don't you have to buy a new device?
I always suggest to go in to your customer support and submit a ticket. So that will be, kind of depends on when you bought your device, where your warranty stands. And I think it's always important to just see what corporate has to say, and they'll support you on your way to get your device fixed or whatever it needs to be taken care of.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I do see we've got Q&A and some questions in our Q&A here.
I saw that, and it was regarding the wristbands. And so, like you said, if you for some reason misplaced your wristbands, or maybe you wore them out, maybe even running those frequencies hard, again, go to your customer support and submit a ticket, and Healy Corporate will support you in getting new wristbands.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. And someone asked about the replay. We are going to have all of these calls posted on our Healy America's YouTube channel. So you'll be able to catch them on there, which will be awesome. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much, everyone is saying. So thank you again, Colette. This has been absolutely incredible. I am so looking forward to our Healy 101 Business. If you aren't registered yet, you can go hop on our Facebook page and click on the QR code and get registered. Once you register once, you should be registered for the entire series, which is awesome. And we will look forward to having you back on here again. So thank you so much, Colette.
Very welcome. And thank you all for tuning in. And for all of you watching the replays, I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Okay. Have a great day, everyone. Talk to you later.